Good morning and welcome, fellow pilgrims, friends, and neighbors. Thank you for joining us for this live devotion on Friday morning, June the 12th. I'm glad that you could join us. This week we've been studying Genesis chapter 18 and the story of Abraham and Sarah and their expected son. And this morning, I want us to focus on just the first half of one verse in Genesis 18. That's Genesis 18, verse 10, and just the first half of verse 10. I'll read it from Revised Standard Version. Genesis 18:10. The Lord said, "I will surely return to you in the spring, and Sarah, your wife, shall have a son." Well, I've been beating around the bush a lot this week because we've talked about a lot of things this week in relation to Genesis chapter 18, but not very much about the arrival of a son. And this is the central event, of course, around all of the things that we've discussed this week. It explains so much about Sarah's grief over not being able to have a child, and Abraham's worry and concern, and he's been promised already that he's going to be the ancestor of a great nation, and yet he and Sarah have been unable to produce a son. So we've been discussing, of course, the significance of their inability to have a child, and the news, and how they responded with laughter, and the theme of hospitality and all of those things. But it all centers around this promise that Abraham and Sarah are going to have a child. And I think this is a great reminder for us. We're very fortunate at Pilgrim this year to have, I think by my count, 5 new children, 5 childbirths in the space of less than 6 months, I think. So we're all very excited about the promise and hope that comes with childbirth. And I think this verse is a great reminder of that. All of the hopes, in many respects, are wrapped up in this childbirth, and so much of the hope, I think, that comes from God comes from childbirth as well. That is, that it's through the hope of children often that we are able to continue on, hopes for a better world, a better place. It's interesting too how children can make us better sometimes, just by holding them and paying attention to them. So this is an extraordinarily joyful moment, I think, and a great reminder to us of the promise of childbirth. And I hope that we can take this verse up today in our lives and think about the promise of children, and lift up all the children in this world in our prayers, and thank God for the presence of these children, and thank God for the hope that these children bring to our lives. And just as this promise of a child dared to bring hope into the life of Abraham and Sarah. Let's pray. This is a prayer about Abraham and Sarah from a man named John Vandelar. Long before the change of name, before the first signs of new life showed the beginnings of promises fulfilled, you asked Abram to make his home among foreigners and share the blessing that was to come. And now, O God, you ask the same faith of us, the faith to count ourselves among the least, to find our place alongside the poor and broken, the faith to trust in your mercy and your promises, and to share what we have received, the faith to wait expectantly for your reign of justice and equity, together with those who most need its gifts. Teach us to be children of Abram, sharers of the blessings we enjoy, the blessing of plenty shared with those who have need, the blessing of healing shared with those who are sick and wounded, the blessing of joy shared with those who celebrate, and of tears shared with those who grieve, the blessing of friendship shared with those who are excluded, and of solidarity with those who fight injustice, the blessing of peace shared with those in conflict, and of confrontation shared with those who bring harm. And in some small way, may our faith and our sharing help to bring your promises into being in our world. Amen. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you'll celebrate the joy of childbirth today and have a great day. Goodbye.